I've discovered that my longtime friend has been lying for almost a decade about being a nurse. Public records show she never graduated or obtained a license. I'm posting from a throwaway account to protect my identity. I'm a 32-year-old woman. My friend Amy is also 32. We've been out of high school for 14 years and out of college for 10. We attended a small, intense private high school, the kind where people always ask where you're going to college, not if. After graduation, I went to a large state school a few hours from our hometown. Amy decided to study nursing and enrolled at the small university in our hometown, which had a great program. She could also save money by living at home. We stayed friends through college. We'd get dinner when I was home on weekends, and she drove up to visit my campus once or twice a year. After graduating, I moved across the country for graduate school. Amy stayed in our hometown and told me she'd been accepted into a competitive residency program for new nursing graduates at a local hospital. My mother is a nurse in the same hospital system where Amy supposedly started. Mom told me it was a big deal that program had less than a 10% acceptance rate. I was incredibly proud of her. We drifted a little after my move, but she still stood up in my wedding and we tried to catch up whenever I visited home. I eventually settled near my graduate school and built a career I love, think along the lines of an accountant, lawyer, or doctor. During the pandemic, I checked on Amy often. I knew she was supposedly working in the ICU, and I saw how hard it was for my own mom who worked in a non-critical care department. Amy would tell me horrific, traumatic stories from the front lines. She said it was hard to talk about work because a bad day for most people might mean sending follow-up emails, but for her, it probably meant someone died. This matched what other friends in ICU nursing described. Last summer, she mentioned she was thinking about leaving nursing to study something less intense, like business. Then about a month ago, everything changed. I was following a news story from our home state, a true crime case, and people in the comments were arguing about whether someone involved was a nurse. One person linked to the state's nursing license database. Out of curiosity, I clicked it to see how much information was available. I entered Amy's name. Nothing came up. I might have let it go, but I remembered something from about 5 years ago. My mom had looked for Amy in their hospital systems directory and couldn't find her. She asked me if Amy had switched jobs. When I asked Amy, she said she hadn't. I assumed my boomer mother just struggled with the digital address book. Sorry, Mom. This time I tried to find a logical explanation. Did she get married and change her name without telling me? No, the database should show maiden names. Did she lose her license? It appeared suspended or inactive licenses were still listed. Did she have a different legal name? No, I'd traveled with her and seen her airline tickets and ID. I sent her a casual text asking her to remind me which hospital she worked at. She replied promptly, naming a different hospital in our hometown. I found a friend of a friend whose mother was a nurse at that hospital. Sure enough, they had never heard of Amy and couldn't find her in their system. So I started digging. I eventually found the graduation lists from Amy's college for our graduation year. Her name wasn't there. I checked the 3 years before and after, nothing. I realized I had never seen a graduation photo of her. I'm fairly sure she enrolled initially. I went to a volleyball game with her freshman year and met friends from her program. I dug deeper. Court records revealed she'd had significant financial troubles, sued multiple times by debt collection agencies in recent years. Finally, I discovered what she actually does. She's the office manager for a dental practice, a perfectly normal, respectable job that isn't worth hiding. Her bio on the practice's website stated she'd worked there for 8 years. This point in my life, Amy is the only person from our high school class I keep in regular contact with, but she's still close with a few others who stayed in our hometown. I follow them on Instagram. Checking their pages, I found that at least as of 2020 they believed she was a nurse. One had posted a birthday photo captioned, "Happy birthday to our favorite nurse. Thanks for taking all our frantic medical questions." Amy had removed the tag so it didn't show on her own profile. I also found a post from Amy's mother about a year after our college graduation would have occurred. It tagged Amy and included an RN pin emoji. It seemed her parents once believed she was a nurse too. She is no longer friends with them on social media, so perhaps they had a falling out. My head was spinning. There was no way Amy would lie to me. But then I began replaying the last decade in my mind and I felt like an idiot. Have you heard the dead dog in a duffel bag story? If not, it's a famous urban legend. Our freshman year of college, Amy told me that exact thing had happened to her. I thought maybe she'd embellished a story, not realizing it was a well-known legend. Last summer, I met her new boyfriend. She said, "Oh, he really wants me to quit nursing and go to business school, so don't bring up nursing or we'll fight." Then I remembered an incident from freshman year of high school. someone spilled soda all over my textbook in the library after I'd left it on a table with Amy. She said she'd gone to the bathroom and returned to find it ruined. I'm realizing now how freaking dumb I've been. So far, I haven't said a word to Amy or anyone who knows her aside from my parents. Some people have suggested maybe she flunked out of college and was just embarrassed, worried you judge her. Obviously, you'd support her no matter what. Others said confront her, see if there's a good explanation. And some advised just ghost her, time to cut and run. She's texted me a few times recently and I haven't known how to respond. I think I need to tell her I know. What's the best way to approach this? I'd probably cry on a phone call, but texting feels like dropping a bomb. I'm angry, but I don't want to devastate her or send her into a spiral. Editor's note: the dead dog in a duffel bag legend typically involves a person, often a woman, transporting a deceased pet in a bag. A stranger helps carry the heavy bag, mugs the person, and runs off expecting valuables only to find a dead dog inside. So yeah, Amy claimed that happened to her. Top relevant comments. Commenter 1: she told other lies and this runs deep. I'm thinking pathological liar. Lying about how tough your job is during COVID is diabolical. She likely wasn't even working since most dental offices were shut down. Imagine sitting on the couch all day telling people you're watching patients die how much you're struggling. No amount of shame over dropping out could make someone do that. At this point, she's lying for attention. I went to high school with a pathological liar. The things she said were insane. She claimed she used to be in one gang but switched to a rival because gangs just let you do that. She was white, from a wealthy family in an affluent neighborhood. Their house had a movie theater and billiard room. One week she came to school with a gauze bandage on her hip saying she'd gotten a tiger tattoo. The next week it was never mentioned again and there was obviously no tattoo. Anyone who's had a tattoo knows you wouldn't cover a fresh one with gauze. She also said her real dad was the head of a cartel. Again, fully white, but claimed she was half Latina. The worst, most disgusting lie was on September 11th. She came to school sobbing, saying several cousins were on a field trip to the World Trade Center and had died. The school called her parents to offer condolences. Her mother was confused, saying they had no family there. Your friend is a pathological liar and needs therapy. Commenter 2: wow, I'm floored she kept this up for 10 years. She could have just said she hated nursing and changed careers. If you want to stay friends, maybe say nothing, though I'm not sure why you want to stay friends with someone who'd lied to you for so long. If you confront her, I'd send a text or email. I received information indicating you never graduated nursing school, never received a license, and never worked at XYZ hospital. A quick search of the license database and university records seems to confirm this. On the off chance I'm mistaken, I wanted to give you a chance to set the record straight. I'm disappointed you didn't feel comfortable being honest with me. Then take it from there. Maybe she didn't know how to tell you nursing wasn't for her. As a registered nurse, my primary concern is whether she's telling people she's a licensed professional and giving healthcare advice. Please update us. Update 1 month later. Initially, after posting, I thought I'd say nothing to Amy and slowly step back. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. So about a week ago, I sent her a text. I said I'd found out she worked at the dental office, that I felt confused and hurt, and that while she didn't owe me an explanation, I was open to hearing from her if she wanted to share. She texted back that night. She said working at the dental office was something she started on the side initially, and she hadn't told anyone for a while because she was afraid of not being who people thought she was. She said it had been a really rough 8 years, that she hated her job and felt like she was failing at life. Finally, she said she also didn't tell me because we see each other so infrequently, so she wasn't sure it mattered. That last part really frustrated me. Work did come up often. She had been actively telling me elaborate lies. I also wondered if she was trying to preserve part of the lie. 8 years only goes back to 2 years after college graduation. I responded asking if by hating her job she meant nursing. She never replied. At that point, I'd only discussed this with my husband and parents. I decided to reach out to Gwen, another friend from high school. The three of us were very close back then. Gwen and Amy stayed closer longer because Gwen moved back to our hometown after college. Incidentally, Gwen is a real nurse, and yes, I checked. They had grown apart in recent years since Gwen had children, so I didn't feel I was interfering in a current close relationship. I asked Gwen where Amy had said she worked when they last spoke. Gwen said she could never quite pin Amy down, but she was pretty sure it was a specific hospital system. I told Gwen what I'd found. She revealed that her husband had been saying Amy was faking being a nurse since 2016, but Gwen thought he was being dramatic. That year, Amy visited them out of state. Gwen needed a TB test read before a clinical. Any licensed nurse can do it, so she asked Amy to sign it. Amy took the form and said she'd look at it later. After Amy left, she swore she'd left the signed form on the coffee table, but Gwen never found it. Amy had also told Gwen she was a labor and delivery nurse. Gwen and I discussed whether to tell other high school friends still close to Amy, as we would want to know. Instead, I decided to send Amy one more text. I made it clear I knew she had never been a nurse at all. I said I was sorry she hadn't felt she could share the truth about her daily life for so long, and that, for what it was worth, I believed our other friends deserved the truth. I told her I would have rather heard it from her than pieced it together myself. It's been about 5 days with no response. I'm not expecting one. She's still watching my Instagram stories and posting on her own social media. Right now, I don't plan to reach out to other classmates, though I've thought about it. Top relevant comments on the update. Commenter 1, yikes, I feel sad for her. My sibling is a pathological liar. After over 15 years of marriage and nearly 30 years together, their spouse confided in me that they didn't know what my sibling did for a living anymore, though they did bring in money. They lied about everything. They always have, and I don't get it. Our mother was also a liar, so I understand why they think lying is okay, but it's too much effort to keep it all straight. Eventually, people catch on. They just double down when confronted. It's so crazy. They finally divorced. It's a sad situation. Why can't you just be a normal person and live a normal life? Why lie? You don't have to be super special. People who aren't doctors or lawyers are still worthy of love and friendship. It's so bizarre. Commenter 2, I used to be a pathological liar. Not as bad as Amy, but I'd lie 30-ish times a day. I had a breakdown from anxiety about a decade ago. While in the hospital, I also learned to deal with my lying. 10 years of therapy later, I can say I don't lie anymore. I still get the urge. If someone asks the time and it's 3:20, I'm tempted to say 3:19, no reason, no effect. If someone asks my favorite color, I feel the urge to lie. When I was very young, maybe 5 to 8 years old, it was like a game. I wonder if they'll believe me. I'd lie about everything from what I ate for breakfast to my name. It was a power trip. As I got older, it became a defense mechanism. I have deep-seated trust issues. To this day, I struggle socially because I'm skeptical of everyone's intentions. Lying became a way to protect myself. No one could hurt me if they knew nothing real about me. It was still a power trip, but with a purpose. For me, it came down to not wanting to be part of this world, so I made sure the real me was never found. My breakdown was terrible, but I guess good things came from it. Commenter 3, Op mentioned attending an intense private high school. I wonder if that high-pressure environment instilled a succeed-at-all-costs mindset. It's sad. Maybe she felt no one would accept her if she didn't have a prestigious, honorable career. She might have thought they can't know the real me, even though there's nothing wrong with her actual job. Perhaps it was easier to lie at the beginning, but a lie leads to more lies. At some point, she might have felt in too deep to turn back. This is all speculation, but I feel for her if that's the case. Editor's note, the Boo subreddit marked this as inconclusive, but I believe it's concluded. Op hasn't updated since her last post in December 2024. Her initial reason for posting was to figure out how to confront her friend, which she did. Her friend continued to lie. It's safe to assume she is no longer friends with Amy, has probably cut contact, and has moved on.